Well, welcome back everybody. Excuse our messy yard. Just been waiting on a rain so I can mow, not be covered in dust. So I come out here this morning. You know, the garden's pretty well done other than peppers and okra. And I'd showed y'all in a video a while back that the okra was not doing well. It got to a point where it was hardly producing at all. Just couldn't quite figure it out. Then I started seeing a few blooms here and there. And it started producing, and now it's crazy. So I just wanted to show it off. It is back in full force. Look at this. There's blooms everywhere, okra pods, absolutely everywhere. I'm looking at hundreds of them across this whole thing here. Look up at all the okra and blooms. I've already done cut quite a bit. So that's weird. I've never really seen okra go through stages like this. But I'm glad that it did, because I was starting to wonder if I wasn't going to get any more. Now I see that's just not the case. I am back to producing okra like mad. So we're going to put just a little bit more up and freeze it to make sure that we have what we want for our dishes. And then we're going to start canning and pickling some of this coming up here before long. So okra is one of those crops that absolutely loves hot weather. However, it's been getting so hot that I've been coming out here and it's just been wilting down every day, no matter how much water I give it. We've been like 96, 97 degrees for the past several days, and heat index has been as high as 108. So it's sweltering and it's miserable. It's early morning right now and I'm already just sweating like crazy. This has been one of the hottest, longest stretches I can remember in a long time. I hope that doesn't mean we got some bad storms and stuff coming. Time will tell. So while the rest of the gardens burn up, okra's loving the heat. So I've just gotten really behind on the garden. A lot of y'all been watching the channel, so you know that life's just been busy for me. Everything's pretty much done other than peppers, okra, and then a couple things in the back that I keep watered. But I've just let the grass take over. Never made time to get mulch out here, chip up, make mulch. So this is going to be a future project to work on, but right now it's just not high priority on my list. So peppers, although they're turning colors and wilting on me, it's just so hot, still producing like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I've been giving peppers away constantly, and I'm just making more than I know what to do with, even with giving sackfuls away. I can't get into my jalapenos quick enough to the fact that they're just keep turning red on me. Got a lot of little green ones still putting on though. If I can get some of these red ones off, they'll just keep producing. Over here, I got peppers that I'm just not getting quick enough, so they're turning all different colors, but not rotting on me. I've been giving a lot of these away too, but I mean, this one's so loaded, looks like it broke both plants. Wow. Bell peppers. Sun's kind of working on them. They're not even filling out completely before sun's just turning them colors and burning them up. It's just so hot. But I do see some good green bells in there. The old beautiful red one right there. So everything else in the garden is done. I'm just haven't had time to pull it all up. Corn obviously is burned up. Squash and zucchini is still actually producing, but I'm just tired of picking it. The little bugs are starting to get into it, but it is what it is. So the garden looks like a disaster, but it produced hundreds of pounds of delicious food for me. Our freezer's packed. It did what it was supposed to do, so I'm very happy. I just need to get out here and kind of make everything visually look good again. Blueberries are doing good. Our little grapevine, it wound up doing awesome for as tiny as it is. It loaded up with grapes. I didn't think a vine this small would. They're still hard, so they're still producing. I need to go look around the property too. Might be something that we do. This might just be a look around the property video. We have a lot of muscadine natural vines that grow. I want to see if they're producing. I doubt they're as far along as this because I water it every day. And I have yet this year to check my persimmons. That's something I always check every year and show on the channel. Property is loaded with them. So I need to go see how well they're doing. If this is an off year, or if they're producing like they have the last several years, which is a lot of persimmons. Well, excuse our messy sink. We got dishes everywhere, but not a bad haul. I mean, look at the size of that. I don't know how many pods of okra in there. The garden is definitely coming back, at least as far as the okra goes. So happy with what I'm seeing. Well, as y'all can see, all these bins all the way to the floor is full of okra, beans, squash and zucchini, piles of corn. Same thing with the bins underneath this, so it's just solid several hundred pounds worth of vegetables right here. So really happy with our garden haul for the year, and we still got a fall garden coming up to get different types. All right, so we're sitting down here at the food plot. It's kind of how we're finishing our day out before we go back and make some fish tacos. But this is one thing that I love to do this time of year. Technically, the food plot is not planted, well, hasn't grown seed and hasn't dropped seed. But because I just planted it and there is some bare spots out there, there's always some, see dove flying in right now. There's always some leftover seed on the ground, so the dove will start coming to that, getting used to the area. They've already been feeding here from all the winter oats that I put down earlier in the year. So I like to come and see what's coming in. Just the other afternoon, I watched a pretty good group fly out of here. So still no rain. I planted this a week or so ago, not a single drop on the ground since. It's just kind of the way it goes. But there is some of that seed left from planting, so you can see out there in the field just all the green that popped back up. That is millet, but that's volunteer millet that come up. I still need to get a lot of rain on the ground to get my little seed to come up and produce. And eventually it will happen. So I'll go out there and fertilize this heavy once I get another rain, and we'll just kind of watch. Once it gets real thick, the dove will kind of quit showing back up, but they seem to remember it. And then early September, if seed's produced well by then, I'll go ahead and start mowing strips and then come out here and sit in the afternoons and watch them until the season actually starts. Yeah, I see some dove. Quite a few doves just come flying out of these trees right here. There's another one right there, look at him. Got dove flying out of the trees everywhere. I think I just caught a few on that other camera. Hate to spook them. That's what they do when it's hot like this. They'll wait in the trees till it gets a little closer dark and start flying down on the ground. But I wanted to drive on out here and check a few things. Told y'all earlier in the video, just wanted to see if I had any natural grapes producing. So this one actually did produce last year, this big vine, but I'm not so sure that I see anything on it right now. Other side of the field would be best to check. Actually, yeah, it's starting to produce some grapes. Look right in there. So it doesn't look loaded down, but I do see a few here and there. So this whole tree line is loaded with these grapevines, and I'm already seeing some more. Actually, I see grapes all up in there. Look at them. So look right here. They're small, but these already feel soft. Oh, look right up in here. Yeah. Problem is the majority of them are way up there. They're good. I see grapes back in here too. Tiffany's telling me how I need to pick these grapes. She said, leave them alone, let them get bigger. So as I'm riding around the property, this is the other thing I want to check, see how these persimmons were doing this year. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. Look at all the persimmons right there. I mean, just on one tip of a branch, loaded with persimmons. I see them everywhere up there by the hundreds. These trees amaze me. I've got really big persimmon trees. It takes a long time for them to get this size, it seems like. But every single year, they do not ever seem to have an off year. They produce so many that a lot of times these limbs just break. I mean, I'm looking at hundreds right here just in these few limbs. So I usually try to keep this mowed up underneath the limbs for the deer and other animals to get to. This is the one time I do wish I had a rotary style mower, something like a bush hogs, what everybody calls them, so I can back up underneath areas like this and keep it nice and clean for the deer to get all these persimmons that drop. Because if you look right back down there, there's my deer blind. But this whole fence line is just loaded with persimmons. Here's another really big grapevine. It goes everywhere, and I'm already seeing grapes all over the place. This is why I was asking Tiffany why on earth we were planting grapevines when I've got them all out here in the wild. I mean, they're all over the ground. Wind's been blowing them off. Birds getting in there. Raccoons love climbing up in this too and getting them. But these grapes are much smaller than what we just come from. It's kind of odd how some are big, some are small. I guess they just got ready at different times, but I see grape pods everywhere on this one. I could bring an extension ladder down here and pick a lot of grapes. This tree never disappoints. I mean, look. You can see all these dark green persimmons. Holy moly. This tree right here every year is probably one of my most loaded trees. Look. So it won't be too much longer, and trees like this will be getting a lot of ripe ones. They'll be hitting the ground here in several more weeks. But I always try to keep this one mowed out just because this tree does so well. I mean, hundreds upon hundreds of them I'm looking at. Wow. So my hunch was right. It looks like a boar hog has been digging through my compost pile. So obviously raccoons and possums have came out here and tried to get those cantaloupes and other fruit that I buried in there. They have tore it to pieces. No problem. Grapevine ain't producing at all. Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed the little property tour. I didn't show Tiffany on video because we've done something we never ever do. We just kind of laid around today, enjoyed ourselves. It is so miserable hot that we didn't want to do anything. So we've laid around in the AC, finally decided to come out in the afternoon, even though it's still mid to high 90s. It's just blazing hot. and she just didn't want to be on camera, and I don't blame her. She's in her lounge around clothes. So awesome on the grapes, more than I was expecting to see. Persimmons doing really well for every year in a row now. They just don't seem to take a break. So I'll try to get some areas mowed underneath there so all the deer and animals get easy access to them. As you can see, still no rain, having to water. I hope we get some rain soon because I really need that millet to start taking off. The season will be here before you know it. I got to jump back on doing the storm shelter timbers, so that'll be probably the next upcoming video. We're not even going to mow this place until we get a rain. It's so dusty and dry. Nobody wants to be on the mower right now, and grass just doesn't mow well to me when it's this hot and kind of drying and burning up, and I think it kind of shocks it. So what else did we do today? Yeah, the garden, okras started back doing well. Pepper's still doing great. Garden's kind of wrapping up, so we'll work on that in the upcoming episode where we kind of get it cleaned up, looking good again, and we'll get ready for some fall crops. Although I'm not going to plant many, that's just kind of the way it is down here. Just a few fall crops that we tend to like anyways. So thank y'all so much for watching. We got a lot of videos that will be coming. If it'll ever cool off some, I'll pump out even more videos, and I'm trying to figure out how to work that with life. A real quick update on the house. We have signed 100 and some odd pieces of paper. I kid you not, it's been crazy. One document package was 63 pages long, so signing our life away there, but we're locking in a historic low interest rate. We feel really good about that. Things are uncertain right now, but we're at the point where we're just ready to take the risk and go ahead and move on with the house. We're still a few weeks away from breaking ground, but I will include you on that process. Probably in an upcoming episode, I may show you the house plans and show you the design that we're doing, because it's very unique for this area. Never actually seen another house like it down here. It's kind of more of a North Carolina mountain style home is what we're wanting to do. It's just a design we fell in love with years ago. So I will talk more about that. Like I said, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of y'all that's been supporting the channel. I know there's a pile of other channels you could be watching, things you could be doing. So the fact that you take time out of your day to watch this sure means a lot to us. Thanks.